Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to my Happy Friday show. Hi everybody, I'm tuning in here from a very steamy Minnesota Friday. I have heard that it's pretty hot everywhere in the US, so I'm sure you're all staying inside in the cool air. It's pretty muggy out there, and I hear we're gonna get some more storms. So what better than a cool, refreshing cocktail to kick things off? And of course, my cocktail of the day had to be our Harmony cocktail. Now I have to apologize, I've drank a little bit of it because I had to photograph, so it's been made for a while. So cheers everybody. So maybe this time I can keep up with him. We'll see. But cheers everybody, happy Friday, and I'm so excited for Sunday. I cannot wait. So in this one, you got the recipe probably from the blog, but I made a little image as I took my photo, so I can post that in the crew so that everybody can check it out. And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can make this a non-alcoholic one. So in here, we have vodka, we have orange liqueur, and amaretto. Those are the spirits that are in there. So to eliminate those, of course, you just take out the vodka, nothing to replace it if you want to make a non-alcoholic one. Instead of the orange liqueur, what I would do is just put a little orange juice. It will give you that essence of the orange, because that hint of orange is really good. And then instead of the amaretto, if you have, it's an almond-based liqueur. If you have like almond drops or anything like that, almond essence that you use in baking, you can put just a tiny drop of that. Do not put like a half ounce or anything. Please don't. Just a tiny drop in there, and then use everything else that is in the cocktail, of course, which is cranberry juice, sparkling water, and pineapple juice. And you will kind of get the essence of the drink. And of course, you're adding that little bit of orange juice. So you get that orange flavor with a little bit of almond essence, and it'll taste the same without the alcohol. So cheers everybody, and let's get this going for today. So a few things I wanted to talk about right off the bat. I see there's a lot of people joining us. I was kind of looking through the comments before we went live, and we have folks from all over. Everybody's getting super excited for Sundays. So along the Harmony Quilt Along, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I got my fabric pull, so I know what I'm going to be working on. I've been watching all of your posts in the crew on what colors you're going to be working with, answering some emails, giving some suggestions. So that's been really good. For those of you that are totally, completely new, don't know anything about what we're talking about, we are doing a full day quilt along this coming Sunday called Harmony. And we start at 9 a.m. I go live 5 times throughout the day, teaching you each step. And then kind of the main goal is just to have fun throughout the day, learn some tips here and there. We'll have a couple of great guests to visit with us throughout the day. And of course, if you get your quilt done, that's pretty amazing. That is not the goal of the day. We're going to get far. We're going to learn all the steps and just enjoy our day, of course. Mr. Honey Producer is putting his final touch on the playlist, so we will post that in the morning. That is a Spotify playlist that we put together that anybody can then, if you have Spotify on your phone, it's an app. You can just like that playlist, and then it's a part of your playlist forever. Or if you don't have that, you can also just access it. We'll put a link on the blog, so you can just click on that and it opens up on your computer and you can play from there. So all kinds of songs. He's really kind of spanning the genres, and all kinds of fun. So the Harmony quilt, if you are new and want to jump on board, you can get the pattern on my website, gequiltdesigns.com. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the PDF pattern. So this is a PDF pattern. I've gotten a lot of emails. I'm answering a lot of the same emails. Where's my pattern? All I get is a cutting instruction. And yes, that's how we do it when we do quilt alongs. I don't want the pattern be out there because it was specifically designed for that day. So we don't want it out there way ahead of time, because we want it to be fun and a surprise too for us sewing along on Sunday. So today is the day I should say tomorrow is the day that you finally get the full pattern. But you can still go and purchase the PDF on gequiltdesigns.com. Make sure you set up an account. So once you can either do it before or after you purchase, because then all of your digital purchases, all your PDF patterns, if you buy ebooks, or if you buy any of our programs that include classes, video classes, it's all in your account. So you can access all of that through the account forever. So that's really beneficial. So then whenever there's an update to a product, like I do with those patterns, when the full pattern is available, you get a notification through email. So all you have to do is just log on to your account and there it will be a new file for you to download. So I wanted to also say that when you hit that and open up the pattern or open up the cutting instructions, every time, if you do that from the website or from the link in the email, you are downloading it. So whatever device you're looking at it from, it's automatically downloading to that device. So if you run out of downloads, because everybody gets about 8 downloads per product, if you're hitting that all the time, you're downloading multiple copies to your device. So if you are out of downloads, just make sure to check on your device, either on your phone or if you're on a computer. If you're on a computer, usually there's a folder on the hard drive that says My Downloads or Downloads folder. You can find it on the phones differently. If you have an iPhone, you just want to make sure that iPhone or iPad, you want to make sure that you have some kind of a software that can open PDFs, for example, Adobe or iBooks. And so that one, once you can go into iBooks and just hit that import button and you can find all the PDFs that have been downloaded to your device. So a little tricky there. Another thing that we've been answering a lot of, so when you purchase from our store, it's your email that is kind of your identifying thing in all your purchases. So if you have used 2 different or 3 different emails making purchases, the purchase gets tied to that email. So if you have a few purchases under one email and then a few under another, we can't merge them because that's a security issue. So the tying together of that. So in those cases, I just recommend you set up 2 accounts if you have digital purchases on 2 different emails. Now, if you have 1 email and 1 account and need to change an email, that's a different thing. We can go in and change your email. We just can't merge something that's from 2 different emails because the system looks at that. It's 2 different people. Okay, a little bit of explanation there. So if you don't have an account or have any issues signing in, just email us. Sometimes it's a matter of your account hasn't been activated or maybe you forgot your password. We can send you a reset password link and all that good stuff. So just email me and we will try and help you out before tomorrow or before the Sunday so along. So I was super excited. Kim from Cars Quilting dropped off my Harmony rainbow quilt this morning and it's all quilted. I wanted to show you, I have it here on the table because I wanted to show you the quilting. Her husband did an amazing job on the quilting, and so look at that. So there's a block that kind of goes in the middle of the Harmony block and it has all these flourishes around it, and then just a fun little on point grid in between the sashing strips, and then a separate pattern in the border that's kind of this swirly fun border, and I just love it. It really brings out the Tulip Pink Fairy Dust, and look how well it mixes with all the colors. I just love how it turned out. And the backing was a fun print I found, so mostly I used this print, but of course I pieced my label into it. So that's all ready to go and ready to hang behind me on Sunday. So the quilt's behind me. I have Taylor hanging right behind me just because I've got all those questions about which pattern was. I showed the Juniper bundle these past couple of shows and everybody was asking about the pattern, and this is Taylor. So this is the Taylor that I made with that exact bundle. And then of course we have Harmony in the corner, and then the little runner hanging is Strip Twist from my Stripology 2 book. So this one is the mini strip twist made with 1.5 inch strips. Super fun to make. They're really, really tiny and cute, but so that's the runner from that book. All right, do we have any more questions on this, on the quilt along? I wanted to just make sure that I answered any last minute questions. I did give you a cutting demo this past Tuesday on Tipsy Tuesday. So if you want to go back and look at that, if you missed it, it's on both Facebook and YouTube. You can go back and watch it. Don't worry if you don't get to that. I will give you a bit of a demo on Sunday morning when we kick it off. Not probably showing you everything like I did there, but I will show you kind of how we break it down and kind of the details on that. And then we'll just be ready to go and get rolling. Can you go over what I need for just one block? Going to make a table runner. Yeah, so I showed you from the cutting on Tuesday, you cut big squares, you can cut them into triangles, and then you cut smaller squares, cut them into triangles. For one block, you will need 2 small triangles and 2 large triangles. And then you need the bits from the strips like I showed. So that's the background. You will need 2 big, large triangles and 2 small for one block.
How do I get Spotify?
How do I get Spotify? So if you have a smartphone, go to the App Store, and Spotify is a free app that you can download. If you and there's a free service, so you would just have to listen to some ads. There's also, you can pay for service and have ad-free music, and you can just listen to any song anytime. It's really great. You can create your own playlist. You can listen to other people's playlists. It's really good. If we are not able to tune in for the quilt along, can we watch it later? Yes, yes, yes. So all of the live shows, live episodes, or live segments will be saved. We're going to be live both on Facebook and YouTube, so they're all saved both on Facebook and YouTube. And we will have links on my blog, on my website for, give us a couple of days to get that going, so links to all of the live sessions. So not a problem, you can watch it all later. And go back and watch and go back and watch it. That's really the main idea of a quilt along. You're not meant to quilt at the same speed as I'm showing you things. You're meant to watch it, and then you can always go back and rewatch for however many times you need to kind of follow along. Okay, Nancy says, I love the rainbow harmony and quilting is fantastic. Thank you. Rooster said, did you also do Scandi and Taylor? No, I never did. I never actually was able to make anything with Scandi because that fabric flew out so fast. I did save some remnants, so I still want to make something with it, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Who are the special guests? So yeah, that was my next little segment I wanted to introduce. In the past 2 quilt alongs, we've had 4 guests, and sometimes it was a little hard to fit everything in, and I felt rushed, so I wanted to limit it to a smaller grouping. So we don't have a guest in our first segment, and then there is one segment that's going to need a lot of demonstration, so I decided I was not going to have a guest for that. So we have 3 guests, but I'm only going to tell you 2 names. So the first guest I wanted to introduce to you, she is, I met her when we were teaching together in Louisiana last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember. Time flies so fast. Anyway, her name is Kinnard, and she is an art quilter, an amazing artist, an amazing teacher. She is a national, international teacher, travels all over, and her work is incredible. And just a totally different thing than what I do. And I think it's always so interesting to learn about other people's journey and philosophy behind it. And so she does a lot of little beading stuff, all kinds of art quilts. And so can't wait to chat with Lyric. She lives, I believe, in Virginia. So she's on the East Coast. So she'll be our guest at the 11 o'clock segment. And then a little bit later in the day, we will have my friend, an amazing designer, Robin Pickens. And I'm super excited about having Robin. Of course, you probably know her from all of our favorite fabric lines that have just sold out so fast. Abby Rose, and she just her latest one that's coming out. We're going to chat about that is, of course, Solana, that I just introduced the pre-sale for. And so I have used her fabrics many, many times and just love it. And I love her artwork. So I can't wait to chat with her about how she got into quilting, because I know she was doing a lot of artwork before that and all kinds of graphic design. So it'll be fun to chat with her. And I hope you will enjoy it. Now, my third guest will be a little surprise, so that'll be our last segment of Sunday, but I can't wait. It's going to be fun. So any more questions on Sunday's Quilt Along Big Day? Do you see anything coming through?
No, just excited.
Mr. Honey Producer's ready. He noticed some posts about some Merlot cheese and club crackers being lined up and ready to go. Most importantly, he says. Everybody's guessing that the mystery guest is you. Well, he's always behind the curtain, but he's not a guest. He runs the show. He likes to think. He does run the show.
The wizard.
He's the wizard, yes. So the quilting wizard. Now I wanted to give you a little heads up. I'm super excited that finally we got our Quilt As You Go batting back in stock. So this is my preference for all of my Quilt As You Go projects. So this is a product by Bosel. It's a light fusible batting. It's fusible on one side. So when you're doing Quilt As You Go, you can just iron your backing onto the fusible side and you can get going. So we have this specially packaged in 5-yard bags. So this is 5 yards by 45 inches. And so it goes a long way. We introduced this last year before Fast and Furious Club kicked off. And so I'm excited that we have full stock of this again and ready to go for the second season of Fast and Furious Club, of course. But I wanted to mention, so those of you that are new to the Fast and Furious Club, and there's a lot of interest for this second season. So last year we put together kind of beginner kits, or it was a starter kit for the club. So if you have never done this technique and are kind of new to quilting, you might not have all the kind of great tools and necessities. So we are going to have the same starter kits available when the club kicks off. And that starter kit has a bag of the batting, which gets you very far along in most of the projects. So a bag of the batting, it would have water-soluble marker, would have the pins that I like to use for Quilt As You Go. We'll have threads, 3 different colors in neutral, so you know, all the shades that you would really need for the piecing. It had a small spools kit too of 5 or 6 different colors of kind of the major colors that I like to use for, you know, if you want to sew down your binding or any kind of top stitching on your appliques or anything like that. It had a pack of fusible web, and also a pack of needles, of the non-stick needles that are great to use whenever you're sewing through anything fusible, so because it doesn't leave any residue and it glides through easily. So those kind of starter packs will be available, so I wanted just to mention that. So hold on tight until we kick off the Fast and Furious Club. And a little hint, this is not really a secret, but I'm letting you in on it. Just you guys. The kickoff for Fast and Furious Club will be September 1st, season 2. All right. Any questions on that? So that was new and back in the store. The other thing I wanted to talk about is back in the store, and we just put it up. We got some of the fabrics for Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon was super popular earlier in the year and ran out really fast. So the reprint came in, so we have a few bundles, and I'm hoping to be able to get one more order of this because it's been really, really popular. So this is a full 12 bundle of the Harvest Moon. So that's back in stock and available. And then, of course, I've been seeing your posts about the Iona bundle. So the Iona came in, and that was one of our pre-orders. So this is our first pre-order that we shipped out. We still have just a few bundles, just a few, but I wanted to show you these fabrics because they are freaking adorable. And what doesn't really come off sometimes when you see just a screen image of the actual print, and until you see them in person, there is a little hint of sparkle in these. There's a little gold, I want to say kind of like a rose gold accent, metallic accent. Otherwise, it's all kind of ocean based, and see that little rose gold, that's just so pretty. So we have all these beautiful purples, and it's like a Celtic ocean base. So we have the Celtic crosses, in this shade, and then more into the violets. And I just love the Lewis and Irene fabric lines because they kind of just all work together. And of course we have the puffins. This is the print that I tried to get a lot of, and we weren't able to get it because they got less of what they thought they would be getting. So then it goes into some of the lights. We have this print again, and the flowers and the puffins, and just this light grayish kind of lavender, and then more into, let me scoot this over so we can see more, into more of the gray with a little blue in it. But I just love how it all harmonizes together still. What pattern would I use? And that's the beautiful thing. You can do this. You can do most of my patterns with the bundles. So this one, because it really has a lot of lights and then a lot of darks. You could totally mix this up for any of the, like the Kira, Algorithm, Emma, I think would be great. So you can show some of the big prints off. And of course, Taylor would look good in it. And I don't know, anything, pretty much anything. I love these diagonal plaids. I always tell you, if you see a diagonal plaid, make sure you get some because they're hard to find and they're so great to use. So I love this. So this is almost out. So I was really daring to show you this because I'm probably going to make people mad. But I had to show you because it's so darn cute.
Somebody said Harmony looks a little difficult. She's a beginner. Do you think she can do
Harmony looks difficult. It was a beginner that's asking the question. Nope. Actually, none of my patterns are hard. So I would say Harmony is like a confident beginner. So I would say start off maybe just making a few blocks with us and see where you are. The great thing about Harmony, we square the blocks up after we make them so that there's a lot of forgiving. There's a lot of forgivingness in Harmony. And there's nothing to match when we're sewing the blocks together. It's a beautiful thing.
Someone's asking about the Fast and Furious Club.
Okay, what are they asking about the Fast and Furious Club? What do they want to know?
What's it all about?
Fast and Furious Club is my, so I've done a lot of Quilt As You Go patterns and books. And so Quilt As You Go, the method that I use is where I piece a quilt. I start with my full piece of backing and batting basted together, and then I piece through the layers. So as I'm piecing, I'm quilting it at the same time. So all of the projects are small projects, lots of runners, table toppers, placemats, things like that. So what we did last year with the first season of Fast and Furious Club, there's a project every month, and you get not only a pattern that's been exclusively designed for the club, but it also has a video class that I take you through all the steps of making the whole project. So you will have access to the pattern and the video forever. And so every month has that. And so you can go check out the first Fast and Furious Club. So we have it still in the store. And we will explain it better when we launch the second season, but there's always a special. You can buy all 9 months. So it's 9 months, 9 different projects. You can purchase all of them at a really great price in the beginning, but then you can also, if you don't want that much of a commitment, you can always purchase them individually. And then if you want a little bit of savings, there's we will put them together in trimesters. So we introduce 3 patterns at a time, 3 projects at a time in trimesters. So you could purchase 3 to start with and see how you like it, and then possibly get the next trimester and third trimester. So, but it's really fun. Those of you that were a part of it last year maybe can throw in some comments on that. But Chrissy's asking, what size do we square the blocks to? I want to have the right size square. 12 and a half. 12 and a half we're squaring to. So if you have a 12 and a half inch square ruler, if you don't have either the Strabology XL or the Strabology Squared, that's what we'll be using as well. I would try and find these other ones. I'm also going to show you, if you don't have any square rulers, I'm going to show you how you can use your cutting mat to do that as well. Okay.
Making some baked brown bread.
Connie is saying, menu for Sunday, Icelandic baked brown bread with honey, cream cheese, and rhubarb pie from my garden. Oh, that sounds amazing. You better put that bread in the oven tonight. Bakes overnight. So great. When will the starter set be on the website? So on September 1st, when we launch everything, we will have the starter kits. And actually, that's when you can also purchase the kits for the first 3 projects in the club. So, Quilt As You Go was my very first quilting project, says Susie. Yes, they are really great for complete beginners, because sometimes when you're beginning, I remember when I was starting quilting, the quilting part was always the intimidating part. I could piece and piece forever, and then it was like, oh, I have to quilt it. So that's why Quilt As You Go is so great, because once you're done piecing, you're done quilting, you just put the binding on it, it's ready to go. So that's what's great.
I'm talking about your chocolate.
Oh, the chocolate cake. I guess I forgot to mention what size pan you put that chocolate cake in. The recipe for the quilt-along. I use a square pan. I think you can do an 8-inch or a 9-inch. I think I even, one time I made it somewhere, I was just, all I had was the glass pan that was a rectangle, and I just like really smeared it thin, and it still worked. But a square pan is best. I just made it with, I think it was a 9-inch square, so. The purple one that I just showed is Iona. So we had just a couple left, and then, yeah, so we just have very few left, and hopefully, I think they're going to be snatched up real quickly. Okay, so Laura's asking, will you know what the projects will be for the 9 months or 3 months? So you won't know for the whole 9 months. We only introduce 3 at a time when we launch each trimester, but some people just like to buy all 9 months to get the savings, because they know kind of what it's about, and so you save a lot just getting the 9. But you're also kind of taking a chance because you haven't seen them yet. But you can kind of go and look at the first season to kind of see what the variety of projects. Paulette, what bread that bakes overnight? So I have a recipe in my Quilts of Iceland book about brown rye bread, Icelandic brown rye bread that traditionally is baked in a geyser. So you either dig it into the hot ground and overnight, but don't worry, you don't need a hot geyser to make it. You can make it in your oven. You just leave it overnight on a very low heat, so it kind of steams. But it's delicious. And I bake it in a carton, like a almond milk, like a carton, milk carton kind of type of thing. It really keeps the moisture nice. How much for the Fast and Furious Club? So there will be different pricings depending on your commitment. So if single project, so it's a pattern and a video, is $14.95 if you just want to buy individual ones. And the first seasons, they're still available. They can still be purchased. All right, I want to show you some more. I have one new thing in the store.
Let me get some of that drink.
Oh, yours is done. Too bad for you. So, one thing I've always loved, so being that I've been quilting for, I don't know, 30 years or more. Wow, really? I'm not that old.
32.
I always like to say I've been quilting since my early 20s. Then people don't really know. I start saying that. So since I've been quilting so long, since my early 20s, one thing that I've done that I always love to have, I love to have in my collection, in my stash, always these basics. I love to kind of have the basics there in all the different varieties and colors so that I can accent whatever I'm working with. I need to swap out. I have all these options. And as you probably, if you know my patterns, a lot of times I use, lots of scrappy strips or scrappy 10-inch squares, but then you always need an accent fabric that kind of ties it all together or makes your eye focus on one thing. And so what I used to do, and I still do, in the past, when I've seen like a really nice line of basics, I used to always kind of hunt down the fat quarter pack, or if they had some kind of a layer cake or a charm or something. But fat quarters was always great because then you could use some of it. I would hunt down and get like the whole line of those basics, and then I would just write down on the selvage what that was. And even if I used parts of the fat quarter, I could always see what fabric it was if I needed to go back and order more. So it's kind of been sitting in my head, and I thought to myself, this would be kind of a really cool thing to offer. So that's what we're offering now for the first of, there's more to come, but the idea that connected and clicked when Lewis and Irene just introduced their fall and winter Bumbleberries. So Lewis and Irene, their fabric lines, they come out with fabric lines monthly throughout the year, and their basics line is called Bumbleberries. And what's great about it is that colorways of the Bumbleberries, they match all of their lines. So they come out with a fall winter Bumbleberries colors, and then summer spring summer Bumbleberries colors. There's always the same that stay the same throughout. There's those basic colors, they stay the same. They have a black and they have a red and gray and all that. But then they have unique colors in the fall and spring. So this is the fall winter Bumbleberries. And so we put together a fat quarter bundle. And so these are 20 different colors. And to make it easy, we actually printed up a sheet that comes in it with all of the colors. So because what we are going to be doing is offering, possibly not all of them, but many of them as 1 yards too. So these are going to be really great. So you have this whole variety. And if you've been purchasing any Lewis and Irene lines, many of these will work really well with it. You know for sure they're going to at least contrast well and mix well, because that's just their philosophy. But just for an example, if we pull this Iona over here, you see all the colors of Iona. And you can, I could pull out right away great colors that would just mix really well into the Iona. So that's what I love about this. So they're fat quarters. They're not like our other bundles. They're not a half yard. So fat quarters. But you have all the numbers. You have the colors. So you could totally either make your own little swatch sheet, or just like what I've done. I've just written in the selvage what it is. So then if I do use some of the fat quarter, I make sure to save that part for reference later. So this is brand new, and that's the fall winter fat quarter stash builder bundle. And if this is something that you like, we will be doing much more of that with more basics, more of my favorite basics. But I just love this idea. So I would love to hear from you if anybody else does this, or have done this. You like to kind of keep a list of your favorite basics. But yeah, so Mary says right away that green blue on the top would be beautiful for Village Pond. Yes, exactly. So a lot of these just mix perfectly in with a lot of them. I even pulled some of the Christmas bundles, and a lot of them worked just perfectly in all of that. So it's really great. So great to see everybody late to join. Love this idea. And you want almost all of those colors. Well, the great part is they're basic, so they're going to work for so many things. And I always say with basics, don't take a basics bundle and use them all in one quilt. You want to mix in different textures and different prints, but basics is something you go to all the time. All the time. You can use them all the time. So an excellent way, like Diane says, excellent way to save a headache later on when you just need a little bit of that fabric. Little more, yeah. So hopefully this will be good, and now you could have a swatch. And so if you need more, we're going to be carrying most of these in 1 yard. It's what we could get our hands on. So that's great. Other than that, that was all I had for everybody today. I thought we would have a lot more questions on Sunday's event. I gotta rest up a little bit. We're gonna go get on the boat. Oh, I forgot. I have one more thing to show you. This. We also, last Tuesday, if you missed Tipsy Tuesday, we launched 9 or 10 more pre-order bundles, and they are flying out. I know even one sold out, so we just added stock on one of them, the Abandoned by Tim Holtz. But I have 5 more to show you today. 5 more that I didn't show you on Tuesday that we just added to the store. And I know a couple of these I've gotten requests for them. So let's bring up the first one. This is Moody Bloom by Createjoy Project for Moda. Do you guys remember the colors, the florals that I used for my Hope quilt? So this is the same designer for Moda. So these really bright, fun kind of florals. And so this is I put together a bundle using that. I love those blues, and then the pop of black with the pinks, and it's going to be super pretty. And then we have Rise by Melody Miller. She is, of course, of Ruby Star. So very unique prints. Also, I love its large scale prints, and then we threw in some of these basics. And so this is going to be really fun and really a quilt with lots of movement for sure. Libs Elliott has a new line for Andover called Stealth, and this one I broke down into 2 bundles. I just could not limit myself. So I did a darks because these are kind of basics, even though they would stand alone on their own. But I love that there's a lot of texture, a lot of different graphic prints, really modern. So this is the darks. I took kind of the darker colors and put them together in a bundle. And then there's the lights. So there's a lights, stealth lights, and then the stealth darks. Just love them. Similar prints, but with that different hue. And these prints, I even thought when I saw them, I'm like, these would have been so perfect for my Harmony strips on the taupe background because those are just the colors. But just love it and can't wait for this one to come in. And then we have Time and Tide by Shell Rummel for Free Spirit. And this one is really cool because we have that, you see that large photo, that's a really kind of a big print with all of the other colors in it. So it's a very organic kind of nature, still very graphic prints and soft tones. Just love those really soft hues, and they're so kind of soothing colors. So those are the 5 new bundles that are up for grabs. You can place your orders. Now some of these have a delivery date as late as January. So like I said on Tuesday, if you want to order, if you're going to place a pre-order, make sure that you don't place anything else in that order, or else it won't come until that order, the pre-order comes in. So I always recommend, if you want your pre-orders to come right away, make sure you place it just singly on their own. And
what was the substitute for a non-alcoholic Harmony?
The substitute, I will talk about that on Sunday too. So somebody was asking about the drink, the almond essence. To make the non-alcoholic Harmony, you just substitute almond essence for the alcohol and use the other ingredients, and orange juice. So there's orange liqueur in the drink, so you can use the same amount of orange juice. So that's a ½ ounce of orange juice. You can even put a little more. But the almond essence, just use a drop, just for that little hint of almond. Where do I find the batting in the store? So there should be a link like Tools and Notions, Rulers and Notions. So it should be in there. It will be a photo. It's not much to see, but it'll be a photo like this, just this big bag of batting. Quilt As You Go batting. Should find that there. Any other questions? Oh, we have a live winner, don't we?
Right there.
Oh, there she is. Buffy Laura is our live winner. You have won a $25 gift card to the GE store. And of course, Sunday we're going to have some prizes. So you want to be with us live. I can't wait. I'm really excited for Sunday. And I'm really excited to show you guys what I ended up choosing to use for my 3rd Harmony quilt that I'm going to be working on Sunday with you all. It's very personal. It's kind of a quilt that's for us and representative of us and our little story. So I want to share that on Sunday. But our next show will be, of course, it's Sunday, our quilt along, but the next show will be Tipsy Tuesday next week, is August 18th. Put that on your calendar, 7 p.m. Central Time. And then Happy Friday show the following Friday, August 18th. No, 21st, sorry. 18th was a Tuesday. 21st is 3 p.m. Central. Sorry about that.
Thought I jacked it.
No. So that is it for me today. We are going to get our final prep. Make sure to wake up tomorrow morning, get your full Harmony pattern so you can read it through and download that playlist so you're ready to go. And set your alarm for Sunday morning, wherever you are. Sometimes I know that's pretty early, if you're on the West Coast especially. But I'm going to clean up my sewing room so I can be ready for it. I was sewing a little yesterday, and when I'm in the creative process, it's kind of things fly. So there's a little bit of cleanup needed. And then we're going to take a little break for tomorrow and kind of gather up our strength and energy for Sunday. So I can't wait to see you guys. Have a great and happy weekend. and I'll see you real soon.